You probably don't even realize it. But right now, there are women secretly checking you out, whispering about you when you walk by, and maybe even fantasizing about you. Here's the catch. Most men are completely blind to how attractive they actually are. They assume they're just average or even invisible, while in reality, women are noticing things about them that they themselves overlook. So, are you actually way more attractive than you think? In this video, I'm going to reveal 8 psychological signs that prove you're not just attractive, but dangerously attractive. The kind of man women remember long after you've walked away. Stay with me, because by the end, you might realize you've been underestimating yourself this whole time. But before we dive in, let me tell you something that might shock you. According to recent studies, over 60% of men consistently rate themselves as less attractive than women actually perceive them. That's right. The majority of guys are walking around thinking they're a 5, when women see them as a 7 or 8. Why does this happen? It's because men judge themselves through a completely different lens than women do. You focus on your flaws, your insecurities, that scar from high school. But women? They're reading your entire energy signature, your confidence, your presence, your subtle dominance signals that you don't even know you're broadcasting. Sign 1. People stare at you longer than normal. Here's the first big sign. When you enter a room, do people's eyes linger on you just a little too long? Not a quick glance, but that extra second of attention. That's attraction. Humans are wired to look at things they find appealing, sometimes without even realizing it. If you catch people staring at you, especially women who quickly look away when you notice them, trust me, that's not an accident. But here's what's really happening on a psychological level. When someone finds you attractive, their brain releases a small hit of dopamine, the same chemical involved in addiction. So they literally get a tiny high from looking at you, which makes them want to look longer. The average person gets looked at for about 0.3 seconds when they enter a room. If you're getting 2 to 3 seconds of sustained attention, especially from multiple people, that's scientifically significant. That's your attractiveness creating what psychologists call attentional capture. Ever noticed a woman playing with her hair, adjusting her clothes, or suddenly looking busy on her phone after you caught her staring? Yeah, that's her covering up the fact that she finds you attractive. She's essentially trying to regulate the dopamine hit you just gave her. Sign 2. Women treat you differently without knowing why. Here's where dark psychology comes in. Sometimes women can't even explain why they're drawn to a man. They'll smile more around you, laugh at jokes that aren't that funny, or show subtle respect in your presence. Why? Because deep down, your vibe, your energy, your body language, it gives off signals of strength and confidence. Even if you don't say a word, your presence commands attention. This is called unconscious bias toward attractiveness, and it's more powerful than most people realize. Studies show that attractive people get better service at restaurants, more lenient treatment from authority figures, and yes, more positive social interactions across the board. But here's the kicker. Women often don't consciously realize they're doing it. Their brain is processing thousands of microsignals from your facial structure, posture, vocal tone, and movement patterns. All of this data gets compiled into an instant attractiveness assessment that influences how they treat you. Pay attention next time. Do women act slightly nervous around you? Maybe they stutter, blush, or giggle when you talk? That's their subconscious screaming attraction. Their logical mind might be trying to stay cool, but their biology is betraying them. Sign 3. People assume you're confident, even when you're not. This one's sneaky. If strangers often assume you're bold, dominant, or even a little intimidating, it's not just random. Your looks, your posture, your natural expressions, they signal confidence. Here's the psychology. Women are biologically attracted to men who appear capable of protecting and leading. So if you've ever had people misjudge you as cocky or flirty, chances are your attractiveness is sending signals louder than you realize. This phenomenon is called the attractiveness halo effect. When someone finds you physically appealing, their brain automatically assigns positive personality traits to you: confidence, leadership, competence, even if they have zero evidence to support these assumptions. The really wild part? Sometimes you might actually feel insecure or anxious inside, but your external appearance is broadcasting confidence so strongly that people never see your internal state. Your bone structure, your natural posture, even the way you breathe, it all contributes to an aura of self-assurance. Think about it. Have people ever assumed you're a player even if you're not? That's actually proof that you're giving off high-value male energy without trying. Your attractiveness is so evident that people assume you must have options, because attractive people usually do. Sign 4. Women remember tiny details about you. Now, here's a sign you might miss: when women remember things you barely recall saying. Maybe you casually mentioned your favorite drink, and weeks later, she brings it up. That's not coincidence. That's attraction. When someone finds you attractive, their brain literally holds onto your words like treasures. It's a survival mechanism. We prioritize remembering those who excite us. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes perfect sense. Our ancestors who paid close attention to attractive potential mates, remembering their preferences, habits, and stories, were more likely to successfully form pair bonds and pass on their genes. But in modern times, it manifests as women remembering incredibly specific details about you that you might have mentioned once in passing. She remembers that you prefer your coffee black, that you mentioned loving thunderstorms, or that you have a scar on your hand from childhood. Next time someone remembers something small about you, like your shirt from last week or your laugh, don't brush it off. It means you're living rent-free in their mind. Their brain has literally allocated storage space for information about you. Sign 5. You get compliments that sound different. Let's be real. Regular compliments like nice shirt don't mean much. But if women compliment you on things like your voice, your eyes, or your vibe, that's a whole different level. Why? Because those are the traits they secretly fantasize about. If you've ever been told, "There's just something about you," congratulations. That's code for, "I find you really attractive, but I can't admit it directly." These types of compliments reveal something crucial. She's not just noticing surface-level things. She's being affected by your presence on a deeper level. When a woman compliments your voice, she's essentially saying she could listen to you talk for hours. When she mentions your eyes, she's telling you she gets lost looking into them. The phrase, "there's something about you," is particularly telling because it means she's experiencing attraction but can't quite put her finger on why. You're triggering multiple attraction switches simultaneously. Maybe it's your pheromones, your facial symmetry, your vocal tonality, and your body language all working together to create an irresistible package. Think back. Have you ever been told you have presence or that you're different from other guys? Those aren't random words. That's attraction trying to escape her lips without sounding too forward. Sign 6. Other men notice you too. Here's the harsh truth. Men notice when another guy is attractive, even if they'll never admit it. If you've had men act competitive, dismissive, or oddly defensive around you, that's not hate. It's recognition. They see you as a rival, and that's a powerful sign you're more attractive than you think. Because in the world of dominance and hierarchy, only high-value men trigger insecurity in others. This male competitive response is deeply rooted in evolutionary psychology. Throughout human history, attractive males posed a direct threat to other men's reproductive success. So modern men still carry this instinctual recognition system. They can spot attractive competition from across a room. You might notice certain behaviors: men trying to one-up you in conversations, making subtle digs at you, or attempting to demonstrate higher status. Some might even try to befriend you strategically, hoping to benefit from your halo effect with women. So if you ever feel like men test you, challenge you, or subtly try to bring you down, that's actually proof that you're a threat, in the best way possible. They wouldn't bother competing with you if you weren't worth competing against. Sign 7. Strangers ask you for directions or help. This one's subtle, but fascinating. Studies show people tend to approach those they subconsciously trust and admire. If strangers often ask you for directions, help, or even random questions, it means your appearance and vibe give off authority and safety. And women especially pick up on that. Because a man who looks capable is instantly more attractive on a deep psychological level. There's actually a term for this in social psychology: approachability bias toward attractive individuals. People instinctively feel more comfortable seeking help from attractive people because they associate physical appeal with competence, kindness, and trustworthiness. When a stranger chooses you out of a crowd to ask for directions, they're making a split-second assessment based on your appearance. They're unconsciously thinking, this person looks reliable, safe, and helpful. That's your attractiveness working as a social lubricant, making interactions flow more smoothly. Ever noticed how some women feel comfortable asking you for little favors, like holding something or reaching for something high? Yeah, she doesn't ask every guy. She asks you because you project an aura of strength and reliability. Sign 8. You catch women mirroring you. Here's the final sign, and honestly, one of the most powerful. If a woman starts copying your movements, tone, or posture, it means she's deeply attracted. This mirroring is subconscious. It's her brain syncing up with yours to create connection. Watch closely. Does she cross her legs when you do? Does she match your energy level? That's her body screaming, I want to be in rhythm with you. Mirroring is one of the most primitive forms of social bonding. It happens automatically when someone feels a strong connection or attraction to another person. Their nervous system literally synchronizes with yours, creating what psychologists call behavioral echo. This isn't just about copying physical movements. She might start using similar vocabulary, matching your speaking pace, or even adopting your expressions and mannerisms over time. It's her subconscious mind trying to create maximum compatibility and connection. Mirroring is one of the clearest giveaways of hidden attraction. If you notice it, don't ignore it. It's proof you're way more magnetic than you think. Most people mirror attractive individuals without even realizing they're doing it. The hidden truth about your attractiveness. Here's what most men don't understand. Attractiveness isn't a fixed number you can rate yourself. It's a dynamic energy that shifts based on confidence, presence, and self-awareness. The moment you start recognizing these signs and owning your appeal, you become even more attractive. Women have a sixth sense for men who know their worth versus men who doubt themselves. When you walk into a room knowing you're the kind of man who gets stared at, remembered, and mirrored, that confidence becomes another layer of magnetism. So now you know, if you've experienced even 3 or 4 of these signs, you're probably way more attractive than you've ever realized. The truth is, attraction isn't always about looks. It's about presence, psychology, and energy. And chances are, you're already radiating all 3 without even noticing. But here's the real power move. Once you become conscious of these signs, you can start leveraging them. You can walk with more confidence, knowing that people are naturally drawn to you. You can speak with authority, knowing that women are hanging on your words. You can be yourself, knowing that your natural presence commands respect. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me bring you more content like this. And check out the other videos on this channel for even deeper wisdom and raw truth about psychology, attraction, and power. Because once you start understanding how people really see you, life changes. The world becomes your playground, and you start operating from a position of abundance instead of scarcity. Remember, you might be your own worst critic, but you're definitely not other people's. Open your eyes to the signs, own your magnetism, and watch how differently people respond when you finally see yourself the way they already see you.